Hey, I promised 6:35, so I'm sorry. A couple last-minute people came. But okay, we're ready to get started. So, good evening and welcome to OPSU's Talent Show. My name's Jesus Mesta, President of Student Government, and I'll be your host for tonight. Thank you. I'm so excited for you all to experience the 9 performances we have prepared. I would like to invite Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs, Dr. Billiot, to the stage for some opening remarks.
All right. Good evening. Thank you for supporting OPSU community. I am Dr. Teresa Billiot, the Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs. These type of events helps us to experience the special talents among our faculty, students, and staff. I absolutely love giving a platform to our community so they can show off talents that we've never seen before. I know that by looking at the list of the acts tonight, you're about to see some of the best talent that you can actually see in the Panhandle region. I have no doubt that you will enjoy listening to each act. So I know you guys want to get this party started, and SGA President Jesus Mesta will lead us in that direction. If you haven't had a chance yet, just make sure that you get like your popcorn and your cookies, so we don't want to have like people interrupting the acts. But I'm really excited to have all of you here, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Billiot. Before I get started, I would like to quickly explain how we will select our winners. While planning the talent show, Student Government has decided to allow the audience to vote. At the bottom of your programs, there is a QR code for you to scan when you're ready to cast your vote. Students and staff should use the same login to access their emails. Paper ballots have been handed out to those who do not attend the university and will be collected after our last performance. Cash prizes will be given to our top 3 winners, which will be $200 for first place, $100 for second place, and $50 for third place. Now, with that out of the way, it's time to get started. Our first performance will be 2 students performing as a duo. Give it up for Kale and Gus on the performance of I Wet My Pants from SpongeBob.
Check. Okay. So if my mom's watching this, I just want to say I'm sorry. So that out of the way, let's get this started.
When I ripped my pants, I thought that I had everybody on my side, but I went and blew it all sky high. And now she won't even spare a passing glance. All just because I ripped my pants. When Big Larry came round just to put him down, SpongeBob turned into a clown. And no girl ever wants to dance with the fool who went in. I thought I shouldn't mope around, I shouldn't curse, but the pain feels so much worse. 'Cause winding up with no one is a lot less fun than a burn from the sun, a seven bonds. Now I learned a lesson I want to forget, so listen and you won't regret. Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance, and you won't end up like the fool who ripped his pants.
Thank you, Kale and Gus. What a way to start us off. Okay. Our next performance will be from a professor. Mike Merle will be performing Revenge by David Allan Coe.
Mic test, mic test, mic test. Love to say that, love to say that. Judy, I feel weary now, older than a man of 33. The gates of hell just opened. After 20 years, the warden says I'm free. Revenge was all I wanted when I killed the man that took your life that day. I've had my satisfaction, but the price was more than love should have to pay. Lord knows you weren't no lady, and the witnesses all swore you was to blame. And the way you teased the menfolk, the jury all agreed you knew no shame, knew no shame. Well, I'm glad that you can't see me now. You'd probably say I do not look my best. Those lawyers took my money, and a Louisiana road gang took the rest. And Judy, I can't even conjure up your picture in my mind today. Lately I've been thinking, what a fool I was to love you anyway. Lord knows you weren't no lady, and the witnesses all swore you was to blame. And the way you teased the menfolk, the jury all agreed you knew no shame. Well, it all seems kinda useless as I place these flowers on your grave today. I don't know what I'm doing here. I've forgotten all the things I came to say.
Thank you, Mr. Merle. Okay. Our second guitar performance will be by a student, and a heads up, it's pretty loud. Joseph Mode will be performing Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. Okay. Thank you, Joseph, for that performance. Okay. Okay. Our next performance will be from a professor. Rebecca Wagenbach will be performing Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline. Ready?
Check, check. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, the night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere out walking after midnight, searching for me. To see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, the night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere out walking after midnight, searching for me.
Thank you, Ms. Wagenbach. Well, we're about halfway. I know 4 is not half of 9, but we're almost there. Our next performance will be by student. Veronica Ray will be performing The Mortician's Daughter by Black Veil Brides.
It's almost nightly, missing her till beds. I feel your touch. I will as I think of you and I blush. You're beating hollow dials, discuss. A fuss is made of miles untraveled, roadways are but stones in gravel. A bleeding heart can conquer every crush. You looked up like those years ago. You said you loved me as you left me, but still I just hadn't left. I promised you that I will see you. You looked up like those years ago. You said I loved you as I left you, but no longer in my head. I promise you and I'm home again.
Thank you, Veronica. Okay, our next performance will be from a professor. Steve Martin will be performing Preludes Opus 28, number 15.
And I have the biggest instrument to move around.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. That's the type of music I play when I'm doing my homework at 11 p.m. on Sunday, so thank you. Our next performance will be in the form of a story from a professor. Tony Hardman will be performing The Eagle Who Thought It Was a Chicken.
Okay, as you can tell, this is going to be a little bit different. Sorry, I don't sing and I don't play an instrument. I would like to dedicate this to all of my students, past, present, and future. This story is for you. One day, this farmer, walking around on his farm, he was looking at his chickens, and he happened to be looking in one of the nests, and there was this big, humongous egg smack in the middle of this nest. It was like, that doesn't look like a chicken egg. What on earth laid that thing? They thought, well, there's only one way to find out. We'll take it, we'll put it in the incubator, and we'll hatch it. So he picks it up, he puts it in the incubator, and he hatches it. And when it finally hatched, it was the most pathetic, ugly-looking chicken he had ever seen in his life. It wasn't one of those cute, fuzzy little chicks, that you see all the time. It was just, there was just no way to describe it. And it was big, it was huge. And he says, well, I don't think it's a chicken, but it was in my, it was in all the eggs with all the rest of the chicken eggs, so it's probably got to be some kind of a chicken. So he took it out and he put it with the chicken. And sure enough, this big bird, it would scratch just like a chicken, it would peck just like a chicken. Well, it's got to be a chicken. It behaves like a chicken. And everything was fine until one day this person happened to be passing through, and he happened to be an ornithologist, which is a person who studies birds. And he looked at that and he says, what on earth are you doing with an eagle and your chickens? And the farmer goes, that's not an eagle, that's a chicken. See the way it scratches and the way it pecks? It's a chicken. He says, no, that's an eagle, and I can show you. So he picks up the eagle, he puts it on a fence post, and then he takes the eagle's beak and he points it to the sky. And he says, you're an eagle. Fly. Well, the eagle, he looks at the sky. He looks down at the chickens. He looks at the sky again. He looks at the chickens and he jumps down off the fence post and he starts pecking and scratching just like a chicken. And the farmer says, see, I told you, it was a chicken. He says, no, he's an eagle. I'm going to show you. So this time, they climb up on top of the barn. And they get up on top of the barn, and they take the eagle. And the ornithologist, he does the same thing. He takes the eagle, points his beak to the sky, and he says, you're an eagle. Fly. Well, the eagle, he looks at the sky, looks down, and there's all these chickens messing around down there. He looks at the sky once more, looks at the chickens, jumps down off the barn and starts pecking and scratching with the chickens again. The farmer says, see, I told you, it's a chicken. He says, no, this time I'm going to prove it. This is an eagle. So this time he takes the eagle and he takes him away from the farm into the forest. And he sets him on top of this big boulder. And he takes his beak and he points it to the sky and he says, you're an eagle. Fly. And the eagle looked up at the sky, looked down at the chicken, except there's no chickens. He looks at the sky again, looks down. There's no chickens. So he looks at the sky once more. All of a sudden, this eagle started to spread his wings, started to flap them up and down. And he jumped off of that boulder while he was flapping his wings. And the next thing you knew, this eagle was flying through the sky. He was soaring. He was doing some of the most incredible, beautiful flight patterns that you could possibly imagine. He never came back to the farm. He never pecked or scratched with the chickens again. From that moment on, he was an eagle. And he was soaring. The moral to the story is, if you want to soar with the eagles, stop pecking with the chickens. It's time to fly.
Thank you, Mr. Hardman, for those encouraging stories. So we have another performance. I know it looked like I skipped Cameron Moses, but he's up next. So our next performance is another speech, and it's a student. Cameron Moses will share with us his speech titled, Children of the Curse. So. You want to use it? Yeah.
Good evening, good evening. Let me get right up here. Let me make sure I got my stuff right. All right, y'all. Good evening, y'all. It's an honor to stand before y'all and get this speech that I've actually been wanting to give for some time. This talent show is actually an answered prayer. I pray to the Most High for an opportunity to speak and spread the truth to many people. This is not a sermon, not a church service or a Bible study, but just a speech based on the truth of the Bible. And in hopes that a people come to remembrance of who they are. A common question asked amongst my people is, how did we get here and why? So allow me to extend Black History Month a little bit. You know, they put it in the shortest month of the year. I don't like that. So our ancestors were given commandments to follow by our Father in heaven after Moses led our ancestors into the promised land, of course. Which they had the choice to follow or to transgress. Now, Yahuwah, our creator, told our ancestors these commandments came with generational blessings if followed, but also came with generational curses if transgressed. If you guys know some Bible knowledge, I know a lot of y'all do, y'all know where I'm going. Unfortunately, our ancestors transgressed these commandments and fell short of following them. And we still do as a people today. Still do. And they started worshiping false gods of other nations and engaging in pagan sacrifices and religious practices which went against our Father in heaven. This brought a great wrath upon us. He sent every curse of Deuteronomy 28 on our people. Allow me, I'll actually go over some of those curses that we actually are under or were. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to Deuteronomy 28:48. Y'all gotta stick with me, y'all gotta follow me. 28:48, therefore you shall serve your enemies whom Yah will send against you, in hunger and in thirst, in nakedness and lacking everything. And he will put a yoke of iron on your neck until he has destroyed you. Notice during slavery, our people did have yokes of iron on their neck during slavery. How could this 2,000-year-old book predict such a thing? I'll go to Deuteronomy 28:29, where it actually states, and it says, you shall grope at noonday as the blind grope in darkness, and you shall not prosper in your ways, and you shall be only oppressed and robbed continually, and there shall be no one to help you. That is another curse. But the reason I named this speech, the children of the curse, is because a very powerful reason. Is because as I was reading, I realized the curse that I actually was under. And that's why you heard the term generational curse breakers and things of that nature. One of the curses in biblical scripture that was to come upon our people is Deuteronomy 28:41. Thou shalt have sons and daughters, but you shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Now, this is crazy because my mother had me, and she birthed me from her womb, but she was not able to enjoy me because I also went into captivity to the foster care system at the age of 13. I was not released from the system until I aged out at the age of 18. How could such a book, so old, predict such a thing? Yahuwah's word, the word of Yah, the word of the Most High has been made manifest and true once again, and I'm a living testimony of it. Which leads me to my next scripture, Deuteronomy 28:45, where the Most High says, all these curses shall come upon you and shall pursue you and overtake you till you be destroyed, because you did not listen unto the voice of your Father in heaven to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded you. And they shall be, but the next verse in this is very important because it says, and they shall be upon you for a sign and for a wonder, and upon your seed forever. So it asks a question, what does a sign and a wonder mean? A sign and a wonder mean that the curses that were put upon us is proof and evidence that we are his people. Now, Yahuwah states in this verse that the curses we live as African American will be a sign and a wonder to the world of who we are, that we are the children of Yahuwah. When they say God works in mysterious ways, it's true. How can one's curse be used to identify who they are and whose they are? But somewhere in it, there's a beautiful lesson, because even though we have to rise out of the curses put upon us, the world will still one day know who we are. I don't know if this would happen in my generation, but I thought I'd spread it to y'all a little bit. Which is why we are the most hated and ridiculed race in the world. You can't deny that. Our Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, who died for us, says in John 15:18, if the world hates you, know that it hated me first. So if you are African American or of African descent, I'm here to remind you of who you are and who we are. We have a biblical history that's been hidden for centuries so that we will be wiped out. But we continue to multiply despite everything done to take us out, aka crack in the 80s. Yahuwah says in Isaiah 47, chapter 47, verse 6, for I was angry with my chosen people and punished them by letting them fall into your hands. But you showed them no mercy. You even oppressed the elderly. Who is the Most High talking about in this verse? Who was the chosen people that were punished by letting them come into another people's hands and was shown no mercy? I'm going to let y'all think on that for a little bit. So Yah is speaking in this verse to the 12 tribes of Israel, the lost 12 tribes of Israel, who were all oppressed heavily by the oppressors of the world at that time. So while Christopher Columbus was doing what he did to the native indigenous people of this land, because how dare I disrespect them by calling them American, my ancestors were being enslaved by the Arabians, where we were soon passed on to the Greeks, and then the Greeks passed us to the Europeans, where we then also ended up in America against our will. Which leads me to another verse, which is the verse of the day in Genesis chapter 15, verse 13, where it says, where the Most High was talking to Abraham, and he said, know for certain that your seed shall be strangers in the land that is not their own, and shall be enslaved and afflicted for 400 years. That is a Bible verse. How could such a book so old predict such a thing? Because slavery came to America in 1619. 400 years later, we'll make that 2019, and we are still living that very curse to this day, and it won't change until we wake up to the fact of who we are. But the next verse is very, very important, because it says, the Most High says next, he says, and also that nation whom they shall serve, which is us, who we serve, his people that he scattered amongst the nations around the world, the nation that they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So that is the hope of the saints, and I hope y'all learned something, a little something from my people. And if you got any questions, lock in with me. I'm happy to answer anything and any questions y'all got. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Cameron. Okay, our next performance is by a student. Jake Matt will be performing "O Canada," the Canadian national anthem. So.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna sing a song from home. It's near and dear to my heart. Hit it.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, we praise you, Lord, all our sons command, with your heart. As we see the true, more strong and free, from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Lead the land, glory stand on guard for thee. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Well, it's about time to wrap up. Our final performance will be by a student. Real House or Big TNB will be performing the original rap called Panhandle State.
Hey, cut my microphone down just a little bit for me. Hey, how everybody doing today? Hey, can everybody make some noise for everybody that just went before me? It take a lot just to get on this stage and just to put your talent in front of everybody, you know what I'm saying? And everybody that's right here that was just live, can y'all come to the front and be live for me, please, right here? Please come to the front and be live for me right here, please. Thank you. Hey. BTB! I say come here! Come here! Hey, drop that, DJ, drop that! Yeah, hey, turn it up! Yeah! Hey, if you know the words, just sing it to me, say, oh, this time I'm hit in the play. Like a man on the beautiful wave. Check him out, I ain't talking to dance, that kills the food. That shit's on the floor, like my say, he loves, he don't need to go for the hay. And I'm flying, he goes, my dogs, I'm so out and try out the pan instead. I just try out the pan. She get mad, and then stupid.
Try to run out with it, cause I'm blame at him.
And you know that my brother was me, he brother was me, nigga.
I say, came at him. And my
You know that my
we can draw like I just said. I ran out. Took a balance, I'm grabbing shit.
Disappear like a mad tree. With the shit of that, you see him be back with an avenue. I was broke on my now running. Once it's a smoke with the guy doing magic. Once it's smoke on the bill with chimney. I'ma shoot to the rifle. 100 shots on the bill, plenty. TNB, that's the guy we winning. You can't hold any cars, you using my young nigga, you know if they spinning. And I still play the guy, but I'm sitting, I give that folks feel like I'm winning. Like a man.
I ain't leaving the winners. And I'm straight out of Wally, I came from the church.
But you ain't got the reason I hate. He didn't be out on the music I hate. She turned out, she damn it, she told me she loved me and she wanna play.
She crazy, pull up on her.
Wanna wave me, I'm in the car and go on the way, my boy, see you running, you still do.
Hey, straight, get out. Till it gets out.
I thought I was little, but I get picked up my left pocket, leave up my right pocket, ring off.
Freaking on shit like a yes, the pissed off. Who was you know I'm big dog. I got sounds like a boy saying crew cars.
Open time on the hit in the face. Like a man on the beautiful wave. Take him out, I ain't talking to day, they close the fruit, shoot up the wave. It's just on the floor, and I might say you love, they don't need to go for the egg.
And I'm fly as a dove, my diamonds on tour, but I'm tried out to Panhandle stage.
I done took
Out to Panhandle.
listen, see you man, and then Stevie try to, and I wanna think I'm a blown out. And you know that my brother with me, he busted for me, so I say, come out.
In my yeah, come with my and drop.
Well, I just did burn out.
Tried out to Panhandle.
See you man, and then Stevie try to, and I.
I'm blame out.
Come here! Hey, come here!
My brother with me, and he buzzing.
Hey, come here!
I said, came out.
Hey, come here!
Come with me.
Hey, come here! Yo! Hey, come here! Hey, come here! Hey, come here! Hey, I appreciate everybody for coming out.
just because he did it, just because he did it. Hey, come on! Hey, come on! Hey, I appreciate everybody for coming out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Big TMB! I say, come on! Hey, come on! Hey, come on! Hey, come on! Hey, I hope I made everybody's day just a little bit better. Hey, everybody be in class tomorrow because we need to get them A's. Let's go.
Wow. What a way to end our talents. Okay. Now it's time for the audience to vote for their favorite performance. Please scan the QR code on the bottom of the program to cast your vote. Again, students and staff should log in using their same password to access their email. Paper ballots have been handed out to those who do not attend the university and will be collected over here. Just hand them over here. So, meanwhile, while we vote and cast our votes, you can go refill on your drinks and we should have our results pretty quick.
Anda por la noche, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace. Anda por la noche, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace. ¿Qué fue? Vestida con colabo, la colabo. Medusa arriba y abajo, calabrón y guapo. Pónate la Frenchy, kilo tela. Soltando los Benji, cheque. Lucy Party con la Fania, jangueando con salseros. Bendicen todas mis canciones para que tú te enamores. Anda por la noche, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace. Anda por la noche, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace. ¿Cómo que qué? Rusia season coming, Uzi Vinoni, FaceTime con Milano, Dios bendiga a Gianni, más fría que tu baby mama. Nos fuimos a la ferry, llegó a la meta pony, pa' que tú te enamores. Anda por la noche, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace. Anda por la noche, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace.
El lazo, Versace saliendo del callejón.
Desfilamos Dior Custom en el colmatón,
Con la tanga Gucci en una cola de motor.
me llevo todo el mall montada en un camión, el rojo con el rosa.
Vestida de blanco, me he visto de novia, pero no soy tu esposa.
El tenis Valentino,
Bizcocho de mochino, gargantilla de zafiro.
con diamante azul marino. Y si yo llevo la ropa pique porque soy la más real. Bitch, me creo de verdad.
Me doy un flow de vaca, me veo original. Es la marca más cara que tú no vas a poder capiar.
Anda por las noches, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace. Anda por las noches, puesta para el roche, tu pelo salvaje, la comida Versace.
Por Roman, con la ley, por Roman. Se me ve el culo en Versace, fuera, del bajo mundo, fuera. Con la ley, fuera, se me ve el culo en Versace. Se me ve el culo en Versace. Throw it up, watch it all fall out. Blow it up, that's how we ball out. Throw it up, watch it all fall out. Blow it up, that's how we ball out. Strip clubs and dollar bills. Still got more money, Patron shots, gonna get a refill.
A reminder to please vote. We currently have a tie, so please cast your vote.
4 o'clock and we ain't going home. Still got more money, money make the world go round. Still got more money, dance make your girl go down. Still got more money, lot more where that came from. still got more money. The look in your eyes, I know you want some. I still got more money. Oh, oh, all I see is signs. All I see is dollar signs. Oh, oh, money on my mind. Money on my mind. Throw it up. Watch it fall off from the sky. Throw it up. Watch it all fall out. Pull it up. That's how we ball out. Throw it up. Watch it all fall out. Pull it up. That's how we ball out. 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 That lake cost $100 bills. I still got more money. Gold all up in my grill. I still got more money. Who cares how you haters feel? I still got more money. Call Jay up and close the deal. I still got more money. My fragrance on and they love my smell. I still got more money. So who cares about what I spend? I still got more money. My pockets deep and they never end. I still got more money. I'm going dumb with all my friends. I still got more money. Oh, oh, all I see is signs. All I see is dollar signs. Oh, oh, money on my mind. Money on my mind. Throw it up. Watch it fall off from the sky. Throw it up. Watch it all fall out. Pull it up. That's how we ball out. Throw it up. Watch it all fall out. Pull it up. That's how we ball out. 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 Somewhere in the middle, I think I lied a little. I said if we took it there, I wasn't gonna change, but that went out the window. Yeah. I know that I seem a little stressed out, but you're here now, and you're turning me on. I wanna feel a different kind of tension. Yeah, you guessed it, the kind that's fine. Hate it when you leave me unattended, cause I miss you, and I need your love. When my mind is running wild, could you help me slow it down? Put my mind
Again, please vote. We still have a tie, so make sure you turn in your ballots and vote on the Microsoft form.
Need your hands on me. Sweet relief. Pretty. Please. Exactly where I want me. Yeah. Underneath your body. Yeah.
It just updated.
If we take it further, I swear I ain't gonna break. So baby, come try me. Baby, come find me. Baby, don't wind me up. I know that I seem a little stressed out, but you're here now, and you're turning me on. I wanna feel a different kind of tension. Yeah, you guessed it, the kind that's fine. Hate it when you leave me unattended, cause I miss you, and I need your love. When my mind is running wild, could you help me slow it down? Put my mind at ease. Pretty please, I need your hands on me. Sweet relief.
Oh, hello. Okay, we are ready to announce our winners. But before I announce our winners, I would like to thank those that made tonight possible. Thank you to student government for funding the event. Thank you to Sheldon Clayton and Larry Wright for managing the audio and visual. They're up there. Thank you to Great Western Dining for the drinks and snacks. Thank you to TCEC for the merch they donated. And thank you to Dr. Billiot, Natasha Eidson, and Laura Hutchinson, and many others for their help as well. But like I said, the results are in. Contestants, will you please step on the stage? Okay. Our third place winner. I wish I had suspense music, but I guess you can drum. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. For third place, Joseph Mode. Sorry about that. I'm also nervous. Okay, second place, Kale Ramirez and Gus Fields. And for first place, Rio House or Big TNB. Thank you all for attending, and make sure you take the leftover snacks, and have a great night.
On my mind at ease, trickle down my spine. Oh, you look so pretty, please. Every single night.